Hello everyone, this is BAHawks2 coming at you with one of my first 1v1s in the past 3 weeks. Not to mention it's been quite some time since I posted a video. Anywho, let's see who my opponent is here. So we have Erzfiend, which I believe is German for archenemy. He's in here as the Red Zerg, and I am the Blue Terran. Because as you know, I've been trying to get decent with Terran, at least in the 1v1s. Yeah, let's see how I do. When I played this, I could definitely feel the rust on my mouse and keyboard for my StarCraft gaming. It was definitely a rough start to the game. And so we got both of our players scouting here, myself included. And I perfectly timed that scout because now I knew exactly what he was doing as for the timing of his pool. And likewise, he had a rough idea of what I was going as in with my quick gas and slow barracks. And scouting overlord. Now what I thought was kind of weird was that he placed his natural here. Now when I do find this out, I thought he was actually on 3 base until I finally moved over to his natural here. Now my initial plans was to do a 1-1-1, which is why I got the early gas and getting the second gas as well. And from there, with the 1-1-1, I was going to attempt Cloak Banshees. I seem to have thwarted off his overlord for now with that single marine. And here we go, getting ready for the tech switch. Calling down them mules. Now, got the tech switch happening. And pulling out the Banshees with Cloak. And might as well make the 1-1-1 complete and get another tech lab so I can whip out some tanks if need be. And it looks like my opponent is going Roach at the moment. He has some pretty good map control at the moment. Has essentially every base apart from these two occupied, just to see if I'm expanding in a weird area like he has. And looks like I got my first Banshee coming out. Second one following behind. Hopefully this Zergling didn't see, but he does have the evolution chamber, and guess what? Placing down some spore crawlers. So he obviously did see with that Zergling that I was sending over some sort of air. And unfortunately, I get them just as they pop. Some decent micro. Too bad I didn't see that. One spore crawler. I'll just pull up the production tab for you guys. So I got siege mode and some tanks coming out because I could just tell that my air attacks were just going to go nowhere from after this. So no point in producing any more Banshees. I believe I start switching over to some medevac production because I'm going to lead more towards a ground army at this point. And The reason being that I did these double command centers was because I hadn't scouted over here yet. So I assumed he was on 3 base, so I thought I'd try and even it out. And my opponent here, arch enemy, the English version of his name, dropping a few of those changelings, unfortunately for him. I realized he had dropped them because I was watching in my base. Yeah. And here I am doing a typical Terran. Not doing much until he massed up a decent army. Which at the moment, my army's kind of meek. The supply is 60 to 47. I assume the main difference would be in, I don't know, we're pretty even for workers. Yeah, so even if he did attack, I do have those 2 banshees that I guess I could call back if he did decide to make an attack with his flings and roaches. And looks like he's going Hydra because he's still thinking that I'm going more heavy air style. Back to production. There we go. Ah! So much for that, Spire. He's probably a little choked about that. And looks like he's finally getting his hatchery out. Yeah, it is natural. And getting my Banshee going around patrolling for any scouting units or possible, hatcheries. I remember one time having someone build a hatchery just out here, and all of a sudden I see creeps red popping up behind these rocks. And you guessed it, I lost that round. And looks like my opponent is doing some scouting himself. And looks like my army's coming along fairly nicely here. But he did get a pretty good scout off, so he's probably going to get those banelings out. Yep. We got a little flock of mutas coming out, just doing some patrolling, I'd assume. See if we can pick off any straggling units or scouting units. Yeah. And I'm just pumping out the Marines. Still have only 2 tanks. Probably could reinforce it with a few more tanks for when I go in for an assault. And here come the mutas. Just sacrificing the mutas. And I even tell him he just wasted units. I mean, I have 3 command centers. It's not going to take me that long to rebuild all those SCVs. Not to mention, this area was pretty much mined out anyways. I mean, I didn't have my natural fully saturated by any means, but I pretty much have been just letting my mules do all the work. Okay, so finally get some action on my part and roll out with my Terran ball. And he's slowly losing map control here. I mean, he did have that warning that I am coming in because he controlled those Zalnaga towers, but And here he is at his front there, thinking I'm going to pop in, and then he'll just uproot. Sorry, unburrow. But I decided to take the scenic route and destroy the rocks. Which, it looks like he realized that. Now at that point, I did see the units burrow. So I decided I'm just going to send one up, gets some vision. Maybe destroy banelings, because I wasn't sure if this was just a big mass of banelings. Here he is with some more mutas. I figured he was going to send those mutas off for like a little counter on my base, but I wasn't too worried as I had a fairly large pack of marines. And here comes the sacrificial mutas once again. And still nothing from his army yet. I guess he was waiting until I'd maybe move up, but and here comes another assault. A little bit of back and forth action. Now, he does have those hydras, which do deal quite a bit of DPS, but unfortunately he didn't have enough roaches and lings to take the frontal part of the damage, so I mean, he is building 12 roaches right here. But unfortunately, with my main force wreaking havoc, once they pop, they'll pretty much be popping to death. Those tanks dealing some damage, maybe even doing some friendly fire, but my medevac's doing a good job healing up all my units. And unfortunately for him, another choke, but his lings did cause some siege damage to my friendly units here. Looks like he's building another Baneling's nest, seeing as we just destroyed his other one. And just Overlord, Spook and Creep. Gotta keep those units alive. What do we got going down? Nothing really happening as natural, or his third, which is his natural in this case. But, for some reason, building some more mutas, I guess just cause he wants to sacrifice some more, but yeah. Looks like he's building another. Oh, building another layer. Probably it is. Yep. Anticipating the loss of his layer is natural. Yep. And here I go, just cleaning up. And he's actually expanding once more. Just probably could have expanded a little earlier, seeing as he's at. Oh, jeez. And just to let you guys know, it might just be because I've been so dormant on the ladder, but this guy was slightly favored. And here I am, destroying him in supply and spending my resources quite adequately. Here we have another engage. Some good old medevac micro, and we get the GG. At least he didn't make me go destroy every single building, seeing as I am in the lower leagues and people get kinda babyish, but I was fairly teched up, so it wouldn't have taken me that long to clean up anything else. At least he couldn't lift off his buildings and put them to all corners of the earth, make me search a little bit harder, but yeah. This is BA Hawks 2, signing out.